Good morning, everybody. Now, you just really can't make this stuff up. But I got this in the mail yesterday from this legal genius. What's her name? Cheryl Maxwell, super genius. Might as well say Wiley Coyote, super genius. But it says Cheryl Maxwell, super genius. I call her Maxwell Smart. Um, Guardian ad lackey for Timothy Lawless, Keith Bruno, and anybody else that needs a rubber stamp for the horseshit they perpetrate as legal decisions here in Clinton County. Anyway, this whack job, my God, she did my job for me. She put together a response to my attorney's appeal that reads like, it tells people what the clowns they are. Anyway, here's it comes down to so many different things, but let's start here. It says right there on page 7 of Maxwell's document. A virtual trial was scheduled for March 5th, 2021. When that appearance began, Bruno attempted to determine if the parties would consent to proceeding virtually. Appellant chose not to answer the judge, instead making a second oral motion for the judge to recuse himself, stating, I have many objections, sir. I think you need to recuse yourself. First of all, you need to get out of the way. You shouldn't be involved in this at all. You were Kristen's attorney back in 2012. Now you're the judge in this matter. Are you going to pretend that you should be here? You gotta recuse yourself and allow justice to take shape. This is not a legal form as long as you're sitting on the bench. Appellant went on, no, I want this to go ahead in person. I want a real trial so that you can't whitewash this on a Friday afternoon and dismiss this for some horseshit reason like I didn't meet some causative action burden or something that Alan's going to suggest here in a minute. So why don't you put Alan on the stand? I'll walk him through this horseshit document that he sent me that has 60 points in it, but he didn't feel brave enough to submit it to the court. What is this, Alan? I stand up and ask Alan, what is this? Well, Appellant continues his rant. You need to get out of the way, Judge. Otherwise, this makes no sense. This is an illegitimate court with you sitting on the bench. This is a joke. This is a joke. I'm going to take you to federal court, so do whatever you're got to do today. I have more than enough documentation to prove everything once I can get out of this kangaroo court. Judge Bruno attempted a response by stating, I'm not appreciative of you calling this court a kangaroo court. I'm not appreciative. Interrupting the judge in mid-sentence, the appellant stated, as long as you're sitting there, it is, buddy. Judge Bruno, attempting to establish decorum, stated, Mr. Maiden, I'm speaking. I'm not appreciative of your comments whatsoever. One, I'm not going to recuse myself with respect to this matter. Let me speak. That apparently has been well over 7 or 8, 9 years ago, and certainly not since the court has been on the bench for the last over 4 years. The court has no recollection. You're interrupting me. The court has no recollection of previous representation of Ms. Carnahan. Appellant responded, I don't care what you're trying to do. This is a kangaroo court. The court is illegitimate. Finally, having reached a complete impasse, Bruno states, all right, we've had enough. I've had enough. Clearly, Mr. Maiden, if he was in the courtroom, would be reprimanded by the court with respect to it. The appellant, still behaving extremely inappropriately, stated, clearly you wouldn't be on the bench. You wouldn't even be sitting there. Then in the absolute pinnacle of disrespect, according to Maxwell Smart, the appellant, that means me, John Maiden, told the honorable Keith M. Bruno that he was, yep, I said it, full of shit. And that the judge was a liar. Judge ended the proceeding. Now, let's get this straight. I just called the judge a liar and told him he was full of shit in open court. And this judge is gutless and a complete coward. And I knew he wasn't going to do anything because he knows it's true. That's what the scary part is. This asshole knows that all of it's true. Oh my God. This is just ridiculous to read, but that's the gist of it. Appellant asked the respondent 5 questions. Once I finally was allowed to get Kristen on the stand, we got to the point where, I was allowed to verify her name, that we have 3 children together, that we live together in Pennsylvania, blah, blah. And then as soon as it got to the point where she had to say that we resided in Pennsylvania from 2007 until 2012, Kristen clammed up and took the fifth. Because if she would have answered that in the affirmative, it would have locked her into a set of facts that would have established the federal and New York State income tax fraud. And that's why Kristen won't answer me or take the stand in court. So I cannot wait until Kristen's idiot mother and dumb aunt, Kathy Dupree and Katie Rock, take the stand in one of these proceedings so that I can ask them if they ever used my daughter's identities to commit federal and New York State income tax fraud. It'll take me one question to make these people perjure themselves, just like it took me one question to make Kristen perjure herself. And the court knows this. Maxwell knows this. They all know that Kristen is sitting up there lying or refusing to answer, and they're claiming that it's her right not to answer because, there's a custody order from 2017, which was, God, when was that custody order? June of 20. Now listen to this. This is their big document. In June of 2017, I moved. Well, in April of 2017, I moved to Plattsburgh. This was after having life-saving brain surgery, a stage 2 knee replacement, reconstructive jaw surgery, and hernia surgery in 2016. So when I came up here in 2017 and started parenting classes at Family Connections and got this visitation order going in June, I was really hopeful, and I was putting my best foot forward and acting certainly in good faith that Kristen, would act in good faith also. But as has already been determined about 1,000 times here, there was no good faith on their part whatsoever, and I have been railroaded ever since. But yeah, I really got to see what Judge Bruno does here. I mean, Maxwell just proves once again that she's an idiot. She makes my case for me. She tells me that this judge. Let's see if you can find where I think Todd is here. Here's Todd sent me this. My attorney. My attorney sent me this thing, and I can only imagine what he thinks of it. He's probably sitting there in his office in Schenectady, saying, John, will you please get? Oh man! So now this thing, the previous, whatever compendium of shit, is all annotated very well by Todd and put in that 330-page document that is now able to go forward to the Third Judicial District, and I can't wait to have the opportunity to talk to Ms. Maxwell about this. But anyway. Let's have some fun here. I hope my daughters are okay. What these people have succeeded in doing so far is basically saying, look, we've been so good at fucking you over and denying you access to your children that until you're able to stop us, we're just going to continue it, okay? So bend over and take it like a man is what this comes down to. And Cheryl Maxwell is just that twisted individual. Like I said, she looks like she looks like Dana Carvey in drag. She looks like, the church lady. And she stands there in court behind me with all her folders and bumping up against the back of my head and, saying shit. She can't face me. She likes to stand somewhere where she doesn't have to look you in the eye because she's a complete fraud. And she knows it. But yeah, let's get her on the stand. I'm going to have a field day with this idiot. Anyway, stay tuned to this space. Thanks.